Yo, what's good, guys? Your NBA podcasters back with another podcast. Today I'm with my bro,
Yo, what's good, guys?
and today we're going to be talking about trade rumors for Joel Embiid. Shaf, in your opinion, what are some rumors going around about Joel Embiid?
All right, so first of all, I think that he wants to leave Philly because of how his teams played nowadays. First of all, last year the Raptors ended their career, and this year they got swept by the Celtics, right? So like he's in a position where he wants to win a championship, right?
Yeah.
And there's a couple rumors going out that Jimmy he wants to like team up with Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, true. Cause he did post one tweet and one Instagram post, which we'll talk about at like the end of the video. But those were the most like either he's trolling from those or he's just actually being serious.
Yeah.
Anyways,
All right. So my what do you think is his play style nowadays?
seriously, I feel like he plays like a traditional big man, mostly in the post. He has a decent outside shot, but he isn't the best from three. He's also great at setting screens, which can help a lot of teams, especially off-ball players. And
Yeah.
on defense, he's a great shot blocker. He is kind of slow-footed, so it's kind of hard for him to defend perimeter players. And uh, as you can see, like he doesn't like to get outside of the paint. If you can notice
Right.
that, he always tries to stay in the paint. Big mans that can like either dribble like Karl Anthony Towns, he doesn't like being out there.
Right.
Even with perimeter players, he doesn't like that because I don't know. I think he thinks that he's gonna get beat
Yeah.
or maybe something else. So
See,
he need,
you say that he's a decent 3-point shooter, right? But I
yeah,
disagree with that because if you see, like, he played the Celtics in the first round, right?
yeah.
And in those games, he was 0 for 2, 1 for 5, 2 for 5. I don't think he's really a good 3-point shooter, to be honest.
No, like I'm talking about for now, I think he's decent when he's wide open. That's kind of what I meant. If he's like
Oh yeah.
contested and then he has to take the shot like he did in the series because he's the only person that can really like handle the ball because Ben Simmons was out. Al Horford wasn't playing that well. Tobias Harris never stepped up. So he had to take some dumb shots, which I think affected his field goal. But if you look at him in the regular season where he had a bit of help from Simmons, it
Yeah.
looked seriously like he was kind like you had to respect his shot from outside.
That's
And
true. That's true.
to be honest, I feel like if he had better floor spacing, he could like easily dominate more in the paint, which we'll get
Right.
to in a second. So, Shaf, now that we've talked about his play style, I want to touch up on some things of which he needs on the teams if like on the team he's gonna go to. So like for example, he needs shooters or something like that. Tell me what you think.
Okay, so you said shooters, which I was about to say. He needs a lot. He needs shooters in his team because he can't shoot really well, right? And he needs like those players that can actually shoot the ball, right? And since Joel Embiid's actually a good like rebounder, even if they miss, he has a good chance of getting the rebound, right?
Yeah.
And instead of shooters, he needs another superstar in his player. And I know Ben Simmons is like a really good point guard, but he's not really a superstar. You know what I'm saying?
And he's
Like
also injury prone, so
he's not
like
he's not good all around. Like he has some good qualities, but he's not like the best player all around. All right,
yeah.
and he needs like good, solid role players that can like lead the team to a championship. Right,
Not
that can assist him.
necessarily that, but like people who can like hit a shot when they need it. Hit
Right.
a like layup, like hit basic shots. Just give a few points off the bench so he can rest. Like I
Right.
remember last year, he Greg Monroe was supposed to be his backup and he failed at that. He literally couldn't do anything because Greg Monroe was being attacked by Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet.
Right.
And if you look at it now, he still has that same problem. He doesn't have like a backup person that can just give him a better rest. I remember last season or last playoffs, Greg Monroe, Joel Embiid only got like 3 minutes of rest in like Game 7. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah.
What else do you think he needs?
Okay, so the last thing I think he needs is playmakers, players that can set him up during the games, right? That if he has these types of this type of offense, I think he's good for a championship. You know what I'm saying?
Do you
But
think that that's too much to ask? Shooters, another superstar, solid role players, playmakers.
I
Isn't that a
mean,
bit too much to ask? And
I'm not. I'm not saying that we're gonna do a trade right now. I'm just saying what he needs. What I think that he needs to win a championship, to bring his team to the playoffs minimum. Right?
okay.
Okay, so like I talked about offense, but like, what do you think about defense? You know?
In my opinion, the only thing he needs is either perimeter players or um I don't think he needs more than perimeter players. As I said, he's great in the paint. All he
Right.
needs is perimeter players that can guard the top and he can get the paint.
I mean, that is true.
So, Shaf, what are some like unrealistic trades that you can think of? Like dumb trades basically, like
All right.
things that could never
So
happen kind of.
so I'm gonna okay. So we're gonna first talking about unrealistic trades, and then we're gonna go up to realistic trades, like
Yeah.
what can happen actually. So unrealistic, what I think is that if Joel Embiid, only Joel Embiid, no pick, no other player, gets traded to Portland for Yusuf Nurkic, Trevor Ariza, a 2020 first round pick, and a 2022 first round pick. I think this is not gonna happen, most likely. But if this happens, it's a W for Portland because he's gonna be playing alongside, what's his name,
CJ
Damian Lillard.
McCollum and Damian Lillard.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be a big three.
and his backup's Hassan Whiteside, right?
Yep.
So he has shooters, he has solid players, he's solid role players, he has playmakers. So I think he's good, right?
Yep.
But for this, I don't think they should give Trevor Ariza, right? Yusuf Nurkic, don't get me wrong, he's like a really good player nowadays, and like he developed really good. But and Trevor Ariza, I think that Portland should give something like higher than that, and I think that would happen realistically.
Someone like who?
Someone like I don't like okay, Trevor Ariza is old, right?
Yep.
At least give someone young. I forgot the player's name, but like he's a rookie right now, and I think
Grant something Grant.
no. But you know what I mean, right? Instead
Yeah,
of giving an
I
old player,
think I know. Yeah.
yeah, they won't like accept an old player and Yusuf Nurkic if they give like a youngster, and okay, yeah, the youngster's name is Anthony Simons, right?
Yep.
And I think that he's going good right now nowadays, right? Because
Oh.
like he's putting up points, and like the last games against the last game against the Lakers, he put up 13 points, 4 for 7. He was 3 for 4 on the 3-point line, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, and I think he is a potential player, right? So if they give him Yusuf Nurkic and two draft picks for Joel Embiid, I think it's good. Like it's gonna be realistic.
Yeah. I can see where you're going with this, and I really like how you said that the youngster. And so that if that happened, like the Sixers would get like an opportunity to rebuild. I'm not saying Yusuf
Yeah,
Nurkic is the best person to rebuild around, but he's decent. Like
yeah.
he's something that you can build around, and then they can get better and
No,
better and better.
They're built. Okay, listen. They're building around Yusuf Nurkic, Ben Simmons, and Tobias Harris. They're gonna be rebuilding around these players, right? So I think it's a good. I think it's a good trade for the Portland and Philly. Uh, I mean, Philadelphia has might have some work to do. Like Portland, they're good with Joel Embiid. They have star players. They can help Joel Embiid, right? Good perimeter defense, and I think it's good.
And one more thing that I just wanted to say was, like, the only downside I think Sixers, if they wouldn't accept this trade because it doesn't solve their shooting problem. Because Yusuf Nurkic can't shoot. Trevor Ariza can like barely shoot, I think.
Trevor Ariza can shoot, but like
And
not that
like
good. And
the
yeah, all right, yo, Soma, what do you think is another unrealistic trade?
another unrealistic trade is that Embiid goes to the Celtics for Gordon Hayward and 3 first-round picks. The first reason why I want to say this is unrealistic is because they're basically it's a move like KD, like if you can't beat them, join them type of thing. So like Embiid will fit great because Celtics do always need a like center, a good center.
Right,
Embiid
right,
would
right.
provide that, but again, it'd be something like KD, and I don't. Maybe Embiid, if he could do that, he would, but I'm not really sure about that because
I mean, okay, yeah, that's one reason, and another reason I think this is unrealistic. You're really gonna give Gordon Hayward, Gordon Hayward for Joel Embiid, one of the best centers in the league for Gordon Hayward, and you're getting 3 first-round picks. But I don't think this is a good trade for Philly.
no, because think about it. Gordon Hayward can shoot the three. He's
Yeah,
kind of good with the ball. He can lay it up. He can hit the
but he
mid
gets
range.
injured a lot. He gets
He's
injured a lot
injury
though.
prone. So is Embiid, though. So is Embiid.
That is true.
And so, are there any realistic trades in your opinion?
Okay, so I have one realistic trade in my mind. So first, I'm thinking Philly trades with the Warriors, and the Warriors give out Andrew Wiggins and 2 first-round picks. I mean, it's a decent trade. Don't get
It's
me
a
wrong.
great trade, in my opinion, because that'd be a big three. Big five basically,
Basically, yeah.
because you have Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Embiid, and maybe someone like I don't know, someone. But I think it's a great trade
And a
because
rookie that's coming this year with the
it'd be
Warriors with the
perfect
second
for
round.
Joel Embiid. It's a good dynasty. Stephen Curry goes great with Embiid. Imagine having a Embiid and Stephen Curry like pick and roll. That'd be so
Yeah,
good. That'd be so good, and it could complement Klay Thompson too because he's a good screener, as I said before. And so
that's true.
yeah, and so um, are there any other trades that you can think of?
Okay, so one last trade I'm thinking of right now is one like the best trade I can think of right now. Joel Embiid to Miami for Bam Adebayo and a first-round pick. I
In
think
my
that's like
opinion,
the
that's
best
a
trade.
great trade. And now I think this is the time where we need to talk about the Instagram post and the Twitter post. The
Yeah,
Instagram's post said like something like you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. And then Jimmy Butler said I know where villains are welcome. And then Embiid said that yeah, that's right, my brother, or something like that. That was the whole
yeah.
thing. Do you
That's a
think
big
Joel
rumor.
Embiid
I think that
is
I think that Joel Embiid has a chance of going to Miami to join
and
forces with
that the
Jimmy
Joel
Butler.
Embiid Instagram post was old, but the Twitter post or the tweet was on August 31st. Yeah, August 31st. He said that um if dot 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 that could mean so many things, but people are saying that it could mean if Jimmy Butler was on my team, then I'd be winning. If I was on the Miami Heat with Jimmy Butler, then I'd be winning. Something like that. Do you think it's just Joel Embiid trolling, or is it something that he might be referring to?
Okay, so I if he didn't like post that Instagram, if that Instagram thing didn't happen, then yeah, it would have been trolling. But if you look at the Instagram post and the Twitter, it's kind of like adding up that he wants either to have Jimmy Butler because they're former teammates. They have the
Yeah,
chemistry,
yeah.
right? So I don't think Jimmy Butler would come back to Philly, but Jimmy Butler wants Joel Embiid in Miami.
Okay, now that we've talked about the tweet and the Instagram post, we need to come back to the actual trade because we missed that.
Yeah.
So the actual trade was Embiid for Bam and 2 first-round picks. One
One
first-round
first
pick,
round
sorry.
pick.
One first-round pick. What do you think of that, Shaf?
Okay, this is a realistic trade. First of all, Miami getting Embiid. That's a good like duo thing. Think about it. Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid, a duo, and you have good rookies, and like Tyler Hero, right?
Yeah.
And I
One, one
what was the other rookie name?
Kendrick Nunn.
Yeah, Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn's really good nowadays.
I have another thing to say. Um, Jimmy Butler has always had a problem with not being like the main superstar in the Bulls. Derrick Rose was on his team, and he's just like, you gotta choose one. The Bulls did, and they chose Derrick Rose over Jimmy Butler. So Jimmy Butler left, or he got traded. I'm not that sure. To the Timberwolves again. First, second problem he had in the Timberwolves was that he either they never worked hard enough, or it was because not enough superstars. I think it was both, or
Yeah.
too many superstars. Like he
Or
wants to be the
they didn't
main one
have
leading
any.
the team.
Yeah.
And then in the Philly, he really loved it, but I think he had problems with Brett Brown, and so
Yeah.
Philly chose Brett Brown over Jimmy Butler, to put it in easy words. And then once he came to Miami, it's the perfect. He's the leader of some rookies.
Yeah.
He and even if Embiid comes to Miami, Embiid already has really good respect for Jimmy Butler, and they just mesh well. They just mesh well. So I think that would be a great fit.
Yeah.
So that's all for today, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. We post every week, so stay tuned, and peace.
We're out.